You know that feeling when you finally get something you've been working for your entire life, and instead of feeling happy, you just feel empty? That was me, standing at my own retirement party. After 42 years with the same company, I was surrounded by my colleagues. They were giving speeches, handing me this beautiful gold watch, telling me, "You've earned this," and "Congratulations." And I should have felt complete. I should have felt like I'd reached the pinnacle. But standing there, smiling for the photos, all I could think was one quiet, terrifying question. Is this really all there is? You see, for me, it all started with the best of intentions. My dad was a good man, a hard man. He worked in a factory his whole life, and he came home every night with his hands worn raw. He never complained, not once. The lesson was silent, but it was deafening. Your worth is your work. Your value is your hustle. Providing was the highest form of love, and exhaustion was a badge of honor. So when I landed my job right out of school, this proper salary position with a desk and a future, I was so proud. I remember looking at my first business card and thinking, okay, now I'm someone. Now I matter. I had no idea that in trying to become someone, I was on a path to forgetting who I was entirely. And that path is paved with 1,000 small trade-offs. Decisions you tell yourself are temporary, but that become the foundation of your life. I remember my son's first soccer game. He was 7, all knees and elbows in this oversized jersey. My wife begged me to be there. I had a crucial client call, the kind that felt life or death at the time. I can't even remember the client's name now. I told myself, it's just one game. There will be so many more. And there were. I just didn't realize that after a while, he stopped scanning the sidelines looking for me. He just knew I wouldn't be there. It was the same with my wife. She's this vibrant, spontaneous soul who would suggest a last-minute weekend trip to the mountain or even just a picnic down by the river. And I'd sigh, already distracted by the inbox in my mind. I can't, honey. This project is just too crazy right now. Next month, I promise. I truly believed I was saying no for her, for us, for our future stability. I didn't understand that I was building a life without her in it, brick by brick, with every missed picnic and every broken promise. The things I loved for myself were the first to go. I had a camera I adored. I loved getting lost in a good book. But you can't bill for those hours, so they were deemed unproductive. I'd box them up mentally, telling myself, I'll get back to that when things calm down. But here's the secret no one tells you. Things never calm down. The grind doesn't have an end, it just has higher stakes. And the promotions did come. The corner office with the fancy view arrived. The paychecks got bigger, and we could finally afford the nicer vacations we never took and the cars that mostly sat in traffic on the way to the office. With each achievement, the world around me cheered. They'd say, look how far you've come, and that external validation was like a drug. It made the missed birthdays and the quiet dinners where I was too stressed to listen feel worth it. That voice telling me, this is what matters, got so loud, so convincing. It became the background music of my life, and it drowned out all the other sounds. The sound of my son's laughter from another room, the gentle sigh from my wife when she realized, again, that my mind was elsewhere, the quiet rustle of a book sitting unopened on my nightstand for the 10th year in a row. I got so good at listening to the noise that I became deaf to everything that truly mattered. You don't just wake up one day and realize you've taken a wrong turn. It's not a single moment. It's a slow drip, drip, drip that finally wears a hole in you. For me, it was a collection of small, quiet realizations that started to echo in the empty spaces. I remember my daughter's university graduation. She stood up there, so poised and brilliant, and she gave this speech. She thanked her mom for being her rock. She thanked a specific professor who believed in her. She even thanked her roommate for eating an entire bad pizza with her during finals week. And I sat there, so proud, just waiting. And my name never came. It wasn't a spiteful thing. It wasn't an angry omission. It was just a simple, factual reflection of my absence. I had funded the journey, but I hadn't been on the trip. In that moment, I wasn't the provider I prided myself on being. I was just a ghost at the feast. Then, there was the health scare. Nothing major, thankfully, but enough to land me in a hospital bed for a few days with wires hooked up to me. And you know what's funny? Lying there with all the time to think, my mind didn't race to the quarterly reports piling up on my desk or the client emails going unanswered. Not at all. My mind raced through a highlight reel of all the moments I had already missed. The empty seat at the soccer game. The silent car rides where I was too preoccupied to ask about my wife's day. The camera gathering dust on the shelf. I had traded all of those tangible, precious things for a title on a business card and a number in a bank account. And in that sterile, quiet room, it felt like the worst bargain anyone had ever made. And then, the house got quiet. The kids grew up and moved out to build their own lives, as they should. The chaos of homework and sports gear and loud music was replaced by a stillness I didn't recognize. And the work that had always been there to fill the silence, to give me an excuse to be busy, suddenly felt so hollow. I'd sit in my home office on a Saturday morning with nothing urgent to do, and the silence was deafening. The ladder I had been climbing for over 4 decades. I finally reached what I thought was the top, and I looked around and realized it was leaning against the wrong wall the entire time. I was completely alone in a place I never meant to be, and the view wasn't worth the climb. If I could go back and talk to that young man with his new business card, I wouldn't tell him to quit his job. We all have to make a living. But I would tell him to change his measuring stick. I spent decades measuring my life in milestones. The next promotion, the next raise, the next corner office. I wish I had measured it in moments instead, because you can't frame a promotion letter and hang it on the wall of your heart. But you can frame the memory of chasing a sunset with your wife until you're both breathless from laughter. You can't deposit a bonus into an account that holds your joy. But you can invest an hour on a Tuesday night building a ridiculous pillow fort with your kids. I was so busy chasing things that looked impressive on paper that I missed the messy, beautiful, and profitable magic of a spontaneous road trip or a long conversation that goes nowhere and everywhere all at once. Those are the things that actually compound in value over a lifetime. And I would tell him to guard his time with the same ferocity he guarded his professional reputation. I never missed a meeting. I was never unprepared for a client. But I canceled on my family constantly. I should have treated time with them as the most important meeting on my calendar, because it was. I should have said, "I'm sorry, I'm booked from 6 to 8 for family dinner," and understood that meeting was non-negotiable, that it was more critical than any conference call. That client would have forgotten my name in a year. My family will remember my absence for a lifetime. Most of all, I wish I had seen someday for the lie that it is. We all have this beautiful, imaginary future called someday where our schedules are clear, our finances are perfect, and we finally have time to do all the things we love with all the people we love. But someday is a thief. It's a fiction we use to justify the choices we're making today. The truth is, the only time we're ever guaranteed is right now. This moment. Today. Someday is not a destination you finally arrive at. It's a habit you break by choosing to live today. And finally, I would ask him to define himself by who he was, not what he did. For so long, when someone asked me, "What do you do?" I had a polished, 30-second elevator pitch ready to go. But if they had asked me, "Who are you?" I'm not sure I would have had an answer. I had become so tangled up in my job title that I lost the other answers. Was I a good listener? A curious learner? A loyal friend? A present father? I had forgotten. I had handed over my entire identity to a company, and when I left, I felt like I had nothing left because I had let everything else fade away. Your job is what you do to support your life. It can be fulfilling and meaningful, but it cannot be the only thing you are. Because when it ends, and it will end, you need to make sure there's still a person left standing there. Please don't hear this as a message of regret or despair. I'm sharing this with you not to make you feel bad about your own choices, but so that you might learn from my hindsight without having to pay the full price I did. You don't have to wait for a retirement party to start making a change. The beautiful thing about realization is that it can happen at any time, and it's never too late to start adding more of what truly matters. For me, that's looked like finally picking up the guitar that's been gathering dust in the corner for 30 years. My fingers are stiff, and I fumble over the chords. I'm truly terrible at it, and it is absolutely wonderful. The joy isn't in being good at it. It's in the simple act of finally doing it. It's in reclaiming a piece of myself I thought was gone forever. It's me and my wife now. We have these long, meandering lunches that don't have an agenda. We just talk. Sometimes we talk about big things. Sometimes we talk about nothing at all. And sometimes we just sit in a comfortable silence that doesn't need to be filled. And my grandkids? I say yes now. Yes to finger painting even though it's messy. Yes to building a blanket fort even though it's inconvenient and my back will ache afterwards. Because the mess and the ache are now proof that I'm living, that I'm finally showing up for the people I love. I've had to reframe my entire understanding of what a successful life looks like. I spent 40 years meticulously building a resume, carefully adding each new achievement like a brick in a wall. I thought I was constructing a legacy, but I was just building a container for my time. I've learned that a life isn't built on a foundation of promotions and accolades. A real life is built from the small, beautiful, utterly ordinary moments. It's the taste of morning coffee shared in quiet companionship. It's the sound of uncontrollable laughter over a silly joke. It's the feeling of your hand in someone else's, not saying anything, but saying everything. These are the things that actually fill your soul. Don't make the mistake I did. Don't exchange a lifetime's worth of those tender, irreplaceable moments for a title on a business card that will be recycled the moment you leave. The card is temporary. The moments are forever. So if you're in the middle of it right now, if you're in the grind, and you feel that constant pressure to do more and be more, please understand. I'm not telling you to quit your job. We all have responsibilities. We all need to provide for ourselves and the people we love. I get that completely. What I am asking is for you to just pause, just for a moment, and ask yourself one simple, honest question. What is the true cost of the ladder I'm climbing? And when I finally get to the top, is the view there worth the price I paid to get there? Is it worth the missed bedtimes, the skipped conversations, the hobbies that used to make your heart sing? You are paying for that climb with your time, with your energy, with your attention, the very currencies of your life. Just make sure you're investing them in something that will truly pay you back in joy. I'd really love to know what this brings up for you. This isn't just me talking. I think we all have something to learn from each other. So tell me, what's one small thing you could do this week to invest in a memory instead of just a goal? Maybe it's putting your phone away during dinner. Maybe it's calling an old friend you've been meaning to catch up with. Maybe it's just sitting on the porch for 10 minutes without a screen in your hand. Share that one small thing in the comments below. Let's inspire each other to make those small changes now, before the years slip away. Because in the end, the goal isn't to just spend your life making a living. The goal is to spend it making a life.